The screen fades in from black. The sound of wind echoes across the Highlands. A single line of Claire's voice drifts through the mist. Some ties are bound by blood, others by time itself, and then silence. Just the haunting sound of bagpipes in the distance. The trailer has finally arrived, and in it, one moment changes everything. Claire Fraser meets her brother, William. For years, Outlander fans have dreamed of this scene, a meeting that was written in destiny, but delayed by centuries of pain, war, and separation. Now, in Season 8, that moment is here, raw, emotional, and unforgettable. The story that began with love across time now brings family together across generations. But this reunion is not simple. It's filled with secrets, heartbreak, and questions that could shatter everything the Frasers have built. For almost a decade, Outlander has taken us on a journey that bends time itself, from the Scottish Highlands of the 18th century to the battlefields of America. We've watched Claire and Jamie fight for love, survive loss, and face the impossible together. But behind all that passion and tragedy, one truth has been waiting in the shadows: William, the son Jamie could never raise. The boy Claire only knew from stories. And now, in Season 8, destiny brings them face to face. The first trailer doesn't waste a single second. It opens with a shot that sends chills down your spine. The camera gliding through fog over the rolling moors, the same land where Jamie and Claire's love once began. The sky glows gray, the wind howls, and in the distance we see a lone figure walking through the mist: William. No words are spoken. His face is older now, carved with the weight of war and loss. He carries himself like a soldier, but his eyes reveal something softer: a question, a longing. Then, the scene cuts to Claire, standing at the edge of a field, her hair loose, her hands trembling. You can feel the years pressing down on her, the memories of everything she's lost and fought for. Her voice, calm yet shaking, whispers, "I've seen faces from the past, but never one that felt like mine." This line alone tells us everything. She knows. Deep inside, Claire senses something, a connection she can't explain. The music swells, violins rising under her breath as she takes one uncertain step forward. The trailer doesn't show the full meeting yet, just flashes. William looking up, confused. Claire's eyes filling with tears. A single close-up of her lips parting, as if to speak his name. Then, cut to black. And the words appear. Outlander, the final chapter begins. It's more than a trailer. It's a promise, the promise of closure, of truth finally revealed, of a family torn apart by time, finally finding its way back together. For fans, this moment means everything. Since William was first introduced, his story has always been one of distance. A son who never truly knew his father's heart. He's grown up in the shadow of Jamie Fraser, without knowing that the blood running through his veins belongs to the man history would never forget. And Claire, who has carried Jamie's secrets, losses, and love across centuries, now stands face to face with that living reminder of everything they've sacrificed. The trailer captures this emotion without needing a single word. Just glances, just silence, just music that breaks your heart. Because Outlander has never been about action or spectacle, it's always been about emotion. And this season, that emotion reaches its breaking point. The screen fades again, and the voice of Jamie echoes softly like a memory. If time parts us again, it will not break what binds us. It's a message, not just to Claire, but to William too. Even when the world changed, even when time tore them apart, the bond of blood and love remained. And now, for the first time, all of that pain, all of that love, comes together in one breathtaking moment, when Claire meets her brother. The sound of rain fills the screen, gentle at first, then steady, like time itself washing over everything that came before. As the camera drifts across a candlelit room, we see glimpses of memories. Claire's trembling hands holding a letter, Jamie's silhouette by a fire, a child's cry in the distance. Every frame whispers of love, loss, and the long road that brought them all here. To understand the weight of this moment, the meeting between Claire and William, we have to go back to where it all began, back to the stones at Craignadun, back to the moment time itself decided to play its cruelest. Trick Claire Randall, a nurse from 1945, touched the standing stones and fell through time to 1743. A world of danger, rebellion, and destiny awaited her there, and in that world she met James Fraser. A Highland warrior with fire in his heart and loyalty in his soul. Their love was not born in peace. It was forged in war, tempered by loss and tested by time. Every season since then has carried a piece of that love, its beauty, its pain, its endless resilience. But love, no matter how powerful, cannot escape the consequences of fate. Because long before the world knew of Claire's time travel, Jamie made a choice that would echo through generations. In the ashes of war, before Claire returned through the stones, Jamie had a son with another woman, Geneva Dunsany. A boy named William Ransom. He grew up far from Scotland, far from Jamie's shadow, raised in privilege and pride, believing his father was Lord John Grey, the man who protected him, loved him, and kept his true lineage hidden from the world. Jamie, from a distance, watched his son grow. Never a word, never a claim. Just silent love, the kind that hurts too deeply to speak of. And Claire, she knew. She carried that truth inside her, the way she carried every secret of time. Years passed. Wars came and went. Families were torn apart and stitched together again. Through it all, William and Claire's paths never crossed. Until now. The trailer's brilliance lies not only in showing us their meeting, but in reminding us of the storms that led there. It cuts between the past and present like the turning of pages. One moment, we see Claire in her 1940s attire, standing in front of the stones, the hum of time swirling around her. The next, we see William, older, battle-worn, his eyes mirroring Jamie's determination. Two lives shaped by the same man, yet separated by centuries. The voiceover in the trailer, Claire's, anchors it all. She whispers, "Every path I took led me back to family, even those I never knew I had." And in those few words, fans can feel the ache of years. Because Outlander has never been just a love story. It's a story about the cost of love. What it takes, what it breaks, and what it saves. We see quick flashes of Brianna, standing in the doorway of a wooden cabin, watching her mother pack a satchel. Roger places a hand on her shoulder. They know she's leaving again. There's something she must face, something bigger than time itself. Then, in a single sweeping shot, the camera follows Claire riding through the mist. The landscape stretches wide and endless. The air feels heavy, the sky bruised with storm clouds. Her eyes are set forward, calm, determined, ready. It's not the journey of a time traveler now. It's the journey of a woman searching for truth. Because William isn't just Jamie's son. He's her family too. He's the missing piece in the long, tragic song that has followed her and Jamie through every age. As the narration continues, we see flashes of William's life, a mirror of Jamie's youth. Training with his sword, tending to his horse, standing in uniform as gunfire roars in the distance. The same courage, the same stubbornness, the same fire in his eyes. He doesn't yet know it, but the blood that drives him is Fraser blood. He carries the echo of his father's strength and the shadow of his choices. Then the trailer cuts back to Claire, sitting by a fire, holding an old letter. Jamie's voice plays softly over it as if from memory. "If he ever comes to ye, tell him nothing. Let the lad find his own way to truth." Her hands tremble. The fire crackles. We can see the war in her eyes, between duty and love, between truth and protection. The rain outside grows heavier, drumming against the window. Claire lifts her head, her expression both sad and strong. She whispers, almost to herself, "It's time he knew who he is." That line, that single line, hits like thunder, because it tells us everything we need to know about Season 8. This isn't just a reunion. It's a reckoning. The world Claire once escaped has come full circle. Every person she's loved, every secret she's buried, every tear she's shed, it all leads here, to William. The trailer's middle section builds on this emotion. It shows the threads of fate weaving together. Brianna's worried face as she finds a letter addressed to William. Roger's quiet voice telling her, "Your mother's heart will never rest until the truth is spoken." And then, the image of William crossing a battlefield, his horse galloping through smoke, his expression fierce but uncertain. It's not just history repeating, it's destiny demanding closure. The screen fades to a soft glow, a sunrise over the Highlands. A gentle wind moves through the grass. Claire stands there, older but not weaker, her gaze fixed on the horizon. The world has changed, but her heart hasn't. The narrator, perhaps a softer voice echoing her thoughts, says, "Time doesn't heal all wounds. It just gives us the courage to face them." And that is exactly what this season will do. Outlander Season 8 isn't just the continuation of a story. It's the conclusion of a legacy. The story of a woman who crossed centuries to find love, and now finds family. The story of a man who gave up everything for honor, and now sees his past come alive before him. And the story of a young man who must finally discover who he truly is. The music swells, blending piano and violin. Images flash like memories. The stones, Jamie's hand reaching for Claire, William's face turning toward her in the light. Then silence again, one heartbeat. Then another, and just before the next scene, Claire's voice returns, soft but sure. Some things are meant to be found. No matter how far time tries to hide them, fade to black. The words appear, the truth always finds its way home. And with that, the trailer's second act ends, leaving us with chills, questions, and a feeling that the story we've followed for years is finally coming full circle. Because for Claire, this is not just a reunion, it's redemption. It's the moment she faces the one part of Jamie's life she could never touch, and finally embraces it as her own. The trailer begins in complete silence. Not a word, not a sound, only the slow heartbeat of time, then the wind. It sweeps across the Highlands, carrying whispers from centuries past. The sky glows pale gold, the air heavy with memory. The screen fades in from black, revealing the mist-covered hills of Scotland, the very land where it all began. A single line appears across the screen. The end of one journey. The beginning of another. The camera moves slowly through the fog, the colors cold and desaturated. The tone feels final, almost sacred. We hear Claire's voice, soft but steady. "I thought I had met every ghost of my past. Until now." The sound of her words lingers like breath on glass. And then, we see her. Claire stands at the edge of a field. Her gray cloak ripples in the wind, her face calm yet heavy with emotion. Time has etched lines across her expression, but her eyes still hold the same light, the same fire that's carried her through love, war, and loss. Behind her, the camera pans toward the horizon, and there he is. A lone rider moving through the mist. William. He dismounts slowly, every movement cautious, uncertain. The wind catches his cloak, revealing the Fraser red in his tartan, a color he wears unknowingly, like a whisper of fate. The music builds, a soft blend of violin and drum. The sound of a heartbeat underneath. Then the trailer cuts. A series of flashes, quick and breathtaking, Claire walking through the woods, her lantern glowing. Jamie's voice echoing over a memory. "Ye canna change what's been done, Sassenach." William drawing his sword in the rain, his jaw tight with anger. Brianna clutching a letter, whispering, "He deserves to know." Each frame tells its own story, fragments of the final chapter coming together. The next shot slows everything down. A candle burns low in a dark room. Claire sits at a table, a letter open before her. The ink is faded, the edges torn. She runs her fingers over Jamie's handwriting, that familiar script filled with strength and sorrow. Her voice breaks the silence. "I promised him I'd protect his name, but how long can you keep the truth from the blood that carries it?" Cut to William, standing in front of a grave. His face shadowed, his eyes fixed on the name carved in stone. The camera lingers there, and for a moment, the world feels completely still. Then, lightning. A sudden flash, a memory, a roar of thunder that jolts the screen. Jamie's face appears, not in real time, but in memory. He turns toward Claire and says softly, "If I canna be there, then let him find me through you." The line hits like a storm. It's the heart of the trailer, and maybe the season itself. We cut to Claire walking into a stone courtyard, her steps echoing. She stops, breathes deeply, and looks ahead. William turns, sensing her presence. Their eyes meet for the first time. The world stops. No sound, no dialogue, just two souls recognizing something ancient. William's brow furrows, confused but curious. Claire's lips part as if to speak, but no words come out. Her eyes fill with tears, not of sadness, but of awe. The music swells again. Soft piano. The same melody from the very first season, now slower, older, almost breaking. Then, a flash of voices layered over images. Roger shouting, "You can't rewrite the past, Claire." Brianna crying, "Maybe this time it's not about the past, it's about truth." Jamie's whisper, "Every man has two fathers, the one that raised him, and the one that made him." The trailer moves faster now. Shots blur together, war, loss, love, and redemption colliding like storm waves. We see William riding into battle. Claire tending to the wounded, her face streaked with rain and blood. A glimpse of Lord John Grey watching from a distance, pain hidden behind his composed eyes. Brianna holding her children, saying softly, "Our family's story isn't finished yet." Then the music drops out again. Only wind, only silence. We return to that same field. Claire and William stand only a few steps apart. The sky darkens overhead. Claire whispers, "You remind me of someone." William looks at her, curious, guarded. "Who?" he asks quietly. Claire hesitates. You can see every emotion flicker across her face. Love, guilt, wonder, fear. She answers barely audible, "My brother." And the moment lands like lightning. The camera lingers on William's reaction. Shock, confusion, and something deeper. Something unspoken. Then the shot cuts abruptly before he can respond. The next sequence shows flashes of conflict and emotion. William storming away through rain, Claire calling after him. Jamie's ghost-like presence in the mist, his voice faint. The truth has a way of finding its own path. Brianna holding a family ring, staring at its engraved initials. J.F. Roger, reading through old pages of Claire's journal, muttering, "It always comes back to him." The trailer slows again. We see Claire sitting by a fire that night, alone. The light flickers across her face. She whispers to herself, "He deserves to know everything." And then, the final montage begins. The pace quickens, music rising higher. We see glimpses of everything that's to come. William and Claire riding side by side through the forest. A secret letter burning in a flame. Brianna discovering something hidden inside an old box marked Fraser. Jamie's voice overlapping them all, repeating a single line, "Blood will find blood, no matter the years between." As the music reaches its peak, the trailer ends with one final shot, the same Highland field, now bathed in golden light. William turns back toward Claire. Her eyes glisten, her lips trembling as she finally says, "You're not alone anymore." Then, black screen. The Outlander theme begins to play, slower, deeper, older. Text fades in. Outlander, the final season. Followed by another line, softer, fainter. Every beginning has an end. Every end brings home what was lost. The trailer fades out completely. Silence returns. Only the sound of the wind remains, and in that quiet, fans feel everything. The years, the journeys, the heartbreak, and the love that has tied this story together for so long. It's not just a preview. It's a farewell letter. A promise that before the end, every secret will be faced, every wound will be healed, and every heart, no matter how broken, will find its way home. The trailer ends, but the emotions stay. For longtime fans, this is not just another season. It's the final chapter of a saga that's become part of their hearts. The meeting of Claire and William is more than a reunion. It's the universe completing its circle. The screen fades in from black once more. A soft violin plays, the same melody that once underscored Jamie and Claire's vows in the Highlands. Now slower, older, carrying the weight of time. The camera drifts over the Scottish hills, gold sunlight spilling through the mist. Claire's voice echoes faintly. The truth doesn't always set you free. Sometimes it binds you closer to what you feared to lose. And with that, the heart of this story unfolds. This is not just the meeting of two characters. It's the collision of every emotion Outlander has built for nearly a decade: love, guilt, redemption, destiny. When Claire and William meet, it's not a simple family reunion. It's the moment when past and present stop fighting and finally recognize one another, the weight of time. Every frame of their meeting carries years of silence. Jamie's silence, Claire's silence. The silence of a truth too heavy to speak aloud. For all the battles fought, for all the pain endured, the hardest thing was always the unspoken, the knowledge that Jamie had a son who grew up in another man's shadow. And now that son stands before the woman who shared Jamie's heart. It's not just shock we see in Claire's eyes. It's memory. It's recognition. It's the ache of years pressing against the edge of truth. For William, it's confusion. The same kind a person feels when the world shifts beneath them. When something inside whispers that everything they believed is not quite right. And for Claire, it's an unbearable mix of pride and sorrow. She sees Jamie in him, the same steadiness in his gaze, the same restless spirit in his stance. But she also sees the distance, all the moments that should have been but never were. The trailer captures this perfectly. Every glance between them feels like a lifetime of stories trying to find their voice. Every pause feels like a century of waiting. It's not just about family, it's about fate finally keeping its promise. Claire's journey of forgiveness. Through every season, Claire has carried both love and burden. She's healed the wounded, defied history, faced loss beyond measure, yet this moment is different. This time she isn't healing someone else. She's healing herself. Meeting William forces Claire to confront the one part of Jamie's life she could never fully reach: his past. She always knew Jamie's love for William was pure and silent, a secret he bore with quiet honor. But seeing William in front of her makes that truth real, tangible, alive. The trailer shows her struggling between two instincts: the doctor's need to protect and the woman's need to confess. She wants to tell him everything. She wants to keep him safe. She wants to honor Jamie's memory, and for the first time in years, Claire looks uncertain, not because of danger, but because of emotion. She spent her life mastering chaos, but nothing prepared her for the simple power of family. In that one encounter, Claire learns that time doesn't just separate people, it also gives them the courage to face what they once ran from. This meeting becomes her final act of love. Not for herself, not even for Jamie, but for the boy who never knew the truth, and for the man who deserves to. William's search for identity. William's story has always been one of quiet tragedy. Raised by nobility, taught honor and pride, but haunted by something missing, something he could never name. He's lived his life as Lord William Ransom, but that name never quite fit. In his reflection, he saw questions. In his victories, he felt emptiness. And in his blood, though he never knew it, Jamie's spirit burned, fierce, loyal, stubborn, and kind. When he meets Claire, that unspoken truth begins to wake. He doesn't know why her presence feels familiar. He doesn't understand why her eyes feel like home. But he feels it. That's what makes this moment powerful. It's not about revelation through words, but through instinct. It's about recognizing something ancient inside you before it's ever explained. William's confusion in the trailer isn't just shock, it's identity breaking open. It's the start of his real story. For years, he's lived in the light of lies told to protect him. Now truth stands before him, silent but unyielding. And though the trailer doesn't show his reaction in full, we can feel it. The disbelief, the anger, the heartbreak. The realization that everything he thought he knew is about to change. For William, this is the moment he stops being a soldier and starts being a son. Jamie's presence, the ghost in the scene. Even though Jamie is not physically there, his spirit is everywhere. Every word Claire speaks, every tear that falls, carries him. He exists in the silence between their sentences, in the music that rises behind them, in the faint echo of a Highland accent whispering through memory. In one flash of the trailer, Claire looks into the distance, and for a heartbeat she sees him. Jamie standing in the mist, watching them both. It's not a ghost, not a vision, just the feeling of him, the eternal connection that time could never erase. That is the magic of Outlander. It doesn't need to show Jamie to remind us he's there, because love that powerful doesn't fade, it lingers. Jamie once said, "You are my home." And in this scene, through Claire and William, He finally comes home. This is the spiritual completion of Jamie's journey, the part he could never live to see but always hoped for. The son he loved from afar and the woman he gave his life for finally standing together. It's not just a reunion. It's his legacy made flesh, the meaning of family. Across time. For years, Outlander has explored the idea that family is more than blood. It's choice. It's sacrifice. It's love that stretches across centuries. But Season 8 changes that. It reminds us that sometimes blood does matter, not because of biology, but because of the truths we've run from. When Claire meets William, every timeline, every war, every heartbreak comes full circle. The past finally shakes hands with the present. And for the first time, the Frasers, scattered through time, begin to feel whole again. This is what the trailer captures with breathtaking subtlety. The soft tremble in Claire's hand as she reaches out. The flicker of uncertainty in William's eyes. The moment where two broken pieces recognize they were always part of the same story. Outlander has always been about time travel, but at its heart it's about emotional travel. The journey from guilt to forgiveness, from loss to acceptance. This moment represents the destination, the end of searching, the beginning of peace. The power of closure doesn't always come with words. Sometimes it comes with silence, a look, a gesture, a tear. That's what makes this scene so moving. It's not about grand speeches or dramatic confessions. It's about the quiet realization that everything finally makes sense. For Claire, it's understanding that love doesn't end when life does. It continues through the people left behind. For William, it's realizing that his story was never missing a father. It was waiting for the truth to fill that space. For Jamie, wherever he is in this world or the next, it's the peace of knowing his two worlds have finally met. The trailer closes with one final image, Claire and William standing together as the wind moves through the heather. She looks at him not as a stranger, but as family, and though neither speaks, their eyes say everything. You are not lost. You are simply waiting to be found. What this means for the final season, Season 8, will not be about survival anymore. It will be about healing. It will be about finding truth in the ruins of time. Every season before this was about fighting fate. Now, it's about accepting it. This reunion between Claire and William symbolizes something larger than two characters. It's the final heartbeat of the Outlander saga. It's what all the journeys, all the pain, all the love stories were leading toward. The end is not tragedy. It's understanding. When the trailer fades to black, fans are left with tears, not just for what's ending, but for what's finally been made whole. Because this story, at its deepest level, has always been about finding home, not in places, not in time, but in people. And now at last, Claire finds hers again, not through the stones, not through the past, but through the family that destiny kept waiting for her. The trailer may only last a few minutes, but within those minutes, every glance, every sound, and every shadow seems to hide something deeper. For longtime fans of Outlander, this isn't just another season. It's a farewell. And when a story like this ends, every frame becomes a message. So what is Outlander Season 8 really telling us beneath the surface? Let's uncover the secrets, the hidden meanings, the whispered goodbyes, and the theories that have fans around the world talking. Theory 1. Jamie's spiritual return. Let's begin with what might be the most haunting moment in the entire trailer, the brief, almost imperceptible shot of mist rolling across the moors, and a shadowed figure standing far in the distance. At first glance, it seems like nothing. A trick of light. A man's silhouette caught by the morning sun. But when you slow the frame, there's something unmistakably familiar about the stance. Broad shoulders, the way he holds himself, the faint glint of a leather strap across his chest. Fans are convinced it's Jamie Fraser, not alive, but present. Throughout the trailer, subtle cues seem to hint at Jamie's spiritual presence. In one scene, Claire whispers, "I still feel you." In another, we see her turn suddenly as if hearing a voice the audience can't. The wind moves, the light shifts, and the music swells into that signature Fraser theme. This isn't coincidence. Outlander has always blurred the line between time and spirit, love so strong it defies both. Many believe Jamie isn't returning in body, but in soul, guiding Claire and William toward the truth, ensuring his story ends where it began. In the Highlands, surrounded by the echoes of who he was. If true, this would complete his arc perfectly. Jamie, the man who lived by faith and destiny, would become both memory and myth, proof that love doesn't die, it transcends. Theory 2. The Stones' Call Again fans have noticed something curious in the trailer's second half. A faint humming sound layered beneath the orchestral score. It's the same low, vibrating tone that's always accompanied the Standing Stones. That can't be random. The Stones have always represented both blessing and curse. They gave Claire her greatest love and took her from it again. But now, as the final chapter looms, many are asking, will Claire go through them one last time? A blink-and-you-miss-it shot shows Claire standing before Craigna, gray hair streaked by wind, eyes full of tears. Her hand hesitates above the stone's surface, trembling not with fear, but with decision. The question fans can't stop debating. Is she returning to her own time? Or joining Jamie in his? If she touches the stone, we could see the ultimate twist. Time finally folding in on itself. Maybe she doesn't travel at all. Maybe for the first time, the stones bring her home without taking her anywhere. Outlander has always been about love across centuries. Maybe this is where time finally stops chasing them. And peace begins. Theory 3. William's hidden destiny. The emotional reunion between Claire and William isn't just closure, it might also be prophecy. Several fan theories suggest William's role in the final season will go far beyond emotional resolution. Some believe he will inherit Jamie's unfinished purpose, protecting the Fraser name, and carrying forward the ideals that Jamie and Claire built their lives around: courage, loyalty, and the balance between freedom and fate. In one trailer shot, William rides through a battlefield shrouded in fog. He looks down at something we can't see, perhaps a fallen soldier or a personal symbol of loss. His expression is not anger, but awakening. That moment could mark his transformation, not from soldier to son, but from legacy to leader. Remember how Jamie was once called